What's going on, guys? JP back at you once again, bringing you guys day number 31 in my 10th annual 31 Days of Horror, a series in which we watch and review 31 horror films in 31 days, all during the month of October, leading right up to today, which is Halloween. So this is it, final day. We finished it. I'm gonna go ahead and count this as a completed year, even though there were some hiccups in terms of like how late certain videos went up, which I mentioned in a previous video. But I think you know, close enough for me. So yeah, the final film for the Vinegar Syndrome titles, and looking back, I almost wish I would have done the Vinegar Syndrome run, just because there's still so many more Vinegar Syndromes that I haven't got to. And honestly, like, only doing 6 was like hard for me. But I did have fun like watching like some of the titles from like Severin and Scream Factory and stuff like that. There was some really cool stuff there, so kind of glad I did that too. But I wanted to watch more Vinegar Syndrome. But I had actually 2 films that take place on Halloween that I know for sure from Vinegar Syndrome. And one of them we reviewed on 22 Shots 2 weeks ago, so I didn't want to do that one just because I was like, oh, we already, you know, did that one on there. I didn't want to double up reviews, even though it would have been an easy thing to do. I decided to go watch my other Vinegar Syndrome that takes place on Halloween, as far as I know. And that is Wacko. So Wacko is a film that came out in the year 1982. It is a parody film, and it's ridiculous. So I've seen this once before. Here's the case under the slipcover there. And it's a ridiculous movie. So it basically sets up that at the Halloween Pumpkin Prom at like Alfred Hitchcock High, 13 years ago, there was a brutal murder of high school students, including our lead's older sister, that traumatized her for life. And yeah, this killer wears a giant pumpkin on his face like this, and he runs around and kills people with a lawnmower. So that was 13 years ago, and now there is a escaped mental patient, and it's up to Dick Harbinger, who is this like tough guy detective, to track down the lawnmower killer before he strikes again and kills everybody at the pumpkin prom 13 years later. Now, this movie is a complete parody. It's joke after joke after joke after joke. I've never seen the movie Airplane, but I've seen so many clips of it, and I've seen it referenced so often. I almost feel like this movie is attempting the same sort of humor of Airplane. Some of which it succeeds on, some of which it does not. This movie, I feel like, worked a little better the first time I seen it, and it wasn't as funny this time. Certain things were still funny, like there's this bit with the father there, and he's basically like a pervert peeping Tom pedophile to his daughter, which is creepy. And when he gets busted, he's just like, I'm mowing the lawn, and they're like, you know, that's what you always say. It's ridiculous. There is a lot of there's not like a ton of like horror, like specific horror movie references as much as I thought there would be, but there's tropes and stuff like that that play out, and not just horror films, but like teen sex comedies of the time too. It's kind of playing on those a bit. There's another really funny bit where the detective is talking about, you know, what happened the night of the pumpkin killings, the lawnmower killings of the Halloween Pumpkin Prom. And he keeps going to tell the story, and then he's like, wait, that's not actually what happened. And then he'll like retell another version of it and over again. It's really funny. But yeah, it's a completely ridiculous movie. The ending is just what? it's just nuts. But yeah, it's a fun movie if you like parodies and spoofs and stuff like that. It's more of a parody than a spoof, because I think a spoof is where you're basically parodying specific material, and this is more of just like a parody of the genre. So It's more of a parody than a spoof, and then there's also satire, which it has some satire too, but it's mainly a parody. So, with that said, oh yeah, I wanted to say it has Andrew Dice Clay in it as well, in his like feature debut. Pretty good cast in there as well. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give the Wacko a 6.5 out of 10. I think it's worth seeing. It's nothing amazing or anything, but it's solid. So with that said, guys, that is it. That is everything that I watched here. I did have a couple other videos planned, but I just didn't get around to them. I was I did a really good job in the first half of the month with this, but then once like 22 shots came back and you know, my life got busier, it was like I barely was able to put these out. So next year should be fun. We'll be back next year most likely. So don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but maybe I'll do All Vinegar Syndrome. Who knows? Anyway, with that said, guys, see you guys next time with another one. And stay tuned to the channel. I still want to wrap up my every film I watched in 2020. Probably try to do that before the end of 2020, so we could work on 2021. But yeah, so thank you guys for all the comments and the likes and subscribes and stuff like that. I built up some new subscribers and things, so I appreciate it. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.